Hope everyone's doing well tonight. So as we prepare for our class with a few minutes left to go, just get yourself comfortable on your mat. Make sure you've got room to stretch out, to get really comfortable. Hopefully you had a chance to light a candle, and if not, I think I've set the camera up well enough that you can see mine. Hi, in case you're wondering where I am, I'm right here. So please sit up tall on your mat and take some deep breaths, preparing for our practice. And it's going to be a nice, restorative, full of deep breathing and opportunities to unwind and thrive. So sitting up tall on your mat, roll your shoulders back, and let's just begin with a little breath work, and it's easy. Count slowly to 8 as you inhale, and then count slowly to 8 on the exhale as well. So that 8 count is going to give you a good pace to work with in your body, to fill, to breathe, to enjoy. Breath work, pranayama. It's part of the practice of yoga. Noticing how each breath that you're taking is getting a little deeper. You're expanding your inhalations through more space in your body. And your exhale is completely emptying from your body. Slow, controlled breaths. May we continue to work with those this evening. And I'm coming to my mat to meet you. Rooting down through your bottom floor, crown rising up tall. Just let your body shift side to side, a little movement. Think of windshield wipers on your car set on low. Side swipe slowly. Keep your root anchored down. And you can feel that stretch travel up the sides of the body, through the sides of the neck and sides of the hips. Start to unlock your shoulders in your side swiping action. Let's begin a little circling motion. The trunk of our body circles around, and we're controlling that action by syncing it to our breath work. Let's shift directions, a slow, smooth roll. Allow every movement to just make you a little taller. And when we feel tall and clear, the breath moves more easily throughout us. Back to center, sitting up nice and tall. Now let's extend our legs forward, folding forward, seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana. And there's no need, I grabbed my feet because I'm there. But if you're not there, that's all right. Just dial it back to the place where you fold forward from your hips. One more long, deep breath. And bring your right leg into angle. We're sitting tall, reframing the tall seat, folding forward again in this position. Head towards knee pose, Janu Shavasana. Let's tune into what our back is doing. Let's consider 3 zones in the spine in the moment: your low back, your mid back, and your upper back. And let's create a little linear harmony in those places forward. Find the point of stretch, not strain, and let's breathe. Let's change sides. Sit up in transition. Left leg comes into angle. Right leg extends forward. Reframe your posture and fold from your hips. Janu Shirshasana. Head towards knee pose. Notice how the folded position that you're in, it's assisting your breath, guiding it, expanding it out more vividly throughout you. So make sure that you can feel your breath moving. It's not getting stuck here. The movement of our breath is so important to the practice. Let's sit up tall and comfortably cross-legged, coming back to this starting seated position. I'm going to sit sideways though. Hands come back behind us and we clasp. A little squeeze of the shoulder blades behind. So first we sit tall vertically. Activate arms and postural muscles up the back. There's expansion across our chest. And maybe we begin to fold forward, lean in a little, continuing to activate the arms. All right, we rise and release our hands. Hands on the ground behind, legs extend forward, readying our body for an up-facing plank pose, Purvottanasana. Breathe deeply. Bottom to ground. And let's bring our footprints together. Sitting in a butterfly pose, nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Check in from your base, from your bottom, that it's evenly set on the ground. And the angles that your legs are creating, they feel even. A vertical line, ground to sky, a vertical line, ground to sky, that we can revolve around that axis. And we're going to remember, tall comes first before a twist. That said, let's right leg forward, left leg comes in. We're going to hook the left shin bone with the left arm. And our twist, vertical first. And we twist around that vertical line to check in with our breath here, that it's filling your body completely. We're not kinking the breath off in the position. Reset vertical line, rotate around vertical, and breathe deep. Let's face forward. Change legs, please. Let's extend left and hook the right bent leg. Sitting nice and tall. And now we'll twist. And let's work on those 8 count breaths. Let your inhale fill for 8. And your exhale, move it out for an 8 count pace. Facing forward again. And feet at the sides or outside of the sides of the mat. Bent legs. And notice when you took this position, did you slouch? Let's come out of the slouch. Heart emerging forward. Shoulders and chest opening. So we're just getting a little hip opener here. And notice how my arm bones are connecting to the leg bones. Connections, they're so important in yoga. You're always making connections. And we're going to use this form again, but we're just meeting it and warming up to it here. Notice if the spine is rounding. Work on the unround over the next couple breaths. And now we release and move into downward facing dog pose. So I'm going to do that from the side. Downward dog. I'm bending my knees, burying front paws, lengthening spine and arms. Notice if the legs feel really stiff. Let's create a little more agility through the hind end of your downward dog. Take 3 more deep breaths in downward dog. Put your knees on the ground. Virasana. Balancing as we're kneeling. And breathing. Notice where the stiffness is in the body, where you tend to pack your tension. Is it in your hips, along the spine, in your shoulders. Breathe and untangle just a little. One more deep breath. Onto the hands and knees. So we're going to give the knees a little more freedom from that deep flexion position. Cat, cow, flow. Exhaling, cat, curling. Inhaling, cow pose, unfurling the cat. Working with those arcing actions. Move slow. Move through every aspect of the spine. All of those zones that we talked about, low back, mid back, upper back and shoulders. They're all awakening, participating. Okay, please meet me in the cow variation where the belly dips and your shoulders broaden, but your heart and face are lifted upward, as well as your tail. Now start to shift a little bit forward and back, right? Forward and back. And you're in control of these forward, backward slides, and your hands are well balanced as you're moving. And you can feel how you are getting active stretches through all of those zones of the spine, the low back, the mid back, the upper back and shoulders. They're all given a little feedback as we move here. Now that we've got forward back shifting happening smoothly, a right foot leaps to the front of the mat. If you want to see that again, right, we shifted back, we leap right leg towards the front of the mat, lizard pose, balancing our body. Now we unpacked a twist earlier, rotation of the spine. We're going to do that here. Left arm balances, the spine and ribs rotate towards the right inner thigh. I'm putting my right hand on right thigh for support. Right shoulder rolls back, chest expands. Little rotating lizard. Right hand returns to the ground. And we're ready to shift back to that start position. It's towards child's pose. Let's rest the forehead and be a child's pose, Balasana. Now lift the forehead, and we're ready to get in that shifting forward back action. And there's a pose we meet when we shift forward. It's modified plank. Your knees are on the ground, but your arms are strong as well as your body. Shift back towards child's pose, but don't drop the head. There's a great stretch for your back when you shift back. One more time, please. Spring the left foot forward. Right, we leap to the lizard. Balanced on our handprints. Body lengthening from our right toes to the crown top of our head. Balancing in your right hand. Rotate the rib cage to the left inner thigh. Left shoulder rolls back. And we enjoy the opening and the good stretches here. Breathe deeply. One more deep breath. Left hand to mat. Shifting back, left foot moves back. Child's pose, forehead down. Filling 360 degrees of your body with a nice deep breath. Let's move out onto our belly and elbows for Sphinx Pose. Forearm balance is established with the arms. Let me say that again. Your elbows are really pressing down those points evenly through the ground. Shoulders broaden, as does your chest. Hips broaden across the mat and they're heavy. And we keep the upward energy of our heart and face. Okay, next move, friends. We're going to reach back. Well, first, let me rewind myself here. Let's bend our knees. Right, knees bent. And then we'll reach back for the feet. And then we activate footprints. The tops of the feet really actually push back into the hands. Your hands pull into the tops of the feet. And we create elevation of our front, making a bow pose. It's a deep chest stretch, spine lengthening, and we're curling back. Hips definitely feeling a stretch. One more deep breath. And we release and travel back to child's pose. Pick up your forehead. Next move is smooth right arm under the left, resting on the outer right shoulder and right side of the head. Thread the needle pose. Align your spine from your head to your tail. Check in that you do feel well balanced on your outer right shoulder. That's important, that balancing point. Slowly unwind, right arm comes back. You're tabletoped for a moment at center. Just ready to transition. Left arm under the right. Back. Aligning spine. Applying your deep breaths to this pose, a huge key action to engage. 360-degree breathing. Right. Go ahead and unwind your thread the needle and sit back on your heels. Virasana pose. When we settle, we find a tall vertical spine in our kneeling position, our low kneeling position. And we let our breath fill up 360 degrees of our belly, ribs, and chest. Notice if neck and shoulders are feeling particularly tight. Make little maneuvers that untangle those spaces. One more deep breath. And now we're going to have a seat and legs extend in front of us. Again, sitting in Dandasana, this 90-degree angle, tall. Situate your bottom so that you can easily find your hip hinge to fold forward. Seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana. We'll sit up vertically. Bring your left leg into angle. Head towards knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. Check in with the zones of the spine as you fold forward. Are they collaborating linearly as you lean in? We sit up and change sides. Position yourself thoughtfully. Same pose, other side. Sit tall. Hinge forward from your hips. Breathe deeply. Feel the pose blooming within you as you breathe deeply. All right, we sit up. Back to hands and knees pose, tabletop. Exhaling cat rounding. Inhaling cow pose, curving the other direction. Draw your curve slowly. Slowly ease the hips back towards child's pose stretch, but getting that really good focus on your lower back, then through the mid back, then through the upper back. Rest your forehead. We lift our forehead, and as we shift forward, we leap right foot forward into lizard pose. Well balanced and breathing deeply in lizard pose. And if it feels good, feel free to rotate or revolve the lizard pose, a little twist within it. Right hand back to ground. Now let's take our hips back. Ease the hips back again. Extend your right leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, the half split. You're well balanced on your right front heel. You're well balanced using your handprints or fingerprints to find your hip hinge again. And as you hinge forward, check in that those three zones of the spine are collaborating linearly, right? No rounding or arcing. A line of spine leans forward. And we'll slide our right back. We're back to tabletop. Shifting back. Shifting forward to the modified plank. Shifting back towards child's pose, but not dropping in yet. Moving forward. One more shift back. Now leap the left foot forward. Lizard pose, please. Place your body thoughtfully here. And then decide if you're going to give the lizard a little twist, a little revolution. Left hand returns to the ground. Hips slide back, shift back. Left leg extends. Ardha Hanumanasana, the half splitting pose. Balance well on the left heel and your hands or fingerprint. One more long deep breath. And then we'll slide our left heel back. Have a seat, please. Back to our butterfly pose. Badakunasana. Foot's together, legs creating two angles, external rotation at both hips. Good posture in our seat. Check in with your breath. Hopefully it's deeply filling and actively emptying. Breathe into your balanced body in the moment. I'm hoping it feels a lot better now than it did when it first sat on the mat. That said, please lie back on your back and right leg extends to the sky. Hands give the hamstring, the back of the high leg, a hug. So we're creating a leg splitting action here as we lie back on the ground. Getting a harmonious stretch through your right leg as it extends upward. Now we'll bend our right leg and send it across the body into a twisting pose. Let your right inner foot rest on the ground. Right shoulder anchors back. Breathe deep into your twisting body pose. Back to center. Let's give our right knee a big hug towards the chest, towards the ribs. Release right leg. And now left leg extends up to the sky, holding the high back of the leg line, the hamstring. Creating hamstring stretch and splitting legs. Bend your left leg, crossing over the body. Let your inner left foot rest on the ground and left shoulder anchors back as you lie there. Apply your 360-degree deep breathing. Back to center. Give your left knee a hug, knee to chest pose. Now we're using that form from earlier, connecting your arm bones to your leg bones, gripping outer foot edges, big toes, or shin bones. Happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. And let your feet slowly float back to the floor as you release them. Extend your legs, extend your arms, and let them rest evenly on the ground. Let your body rest evenly along and across mat. And now footprints come together again here. We're in the butterfly position, but reclining, lying on our back. That sense of evenness, equality, right and left sides of your body. An equal pace to the breath that you're taking. Right? Use that slow count of 8 to guide you. All right, let's bring our legs back together, thighs squeeze together lightly to close. And then lift your heels, bent legs in the sky. And then right leg crosses over the left, right? Thighs are crossing, legs are still bent. I'm gently rocking side to side, just getting ready to take my twist smoothly. Legs shift to the left. Allow your legs to be heavy on the left side of the mat. Spread your arms, chest, shoulders across the ground. Filling belly, ribs, and chest with the deep breaths you're taking. Let's come back to center. And let's uncross and recross. Left over right, thighs cross. Legs are bent. Legs roll to the right. Anchoring left shoulder back. Feel your inner thighs squeezing together. And that adduction, that adding together of the thighs, assists your twisting action. All right, back to center. Uncross the legs. So bent legs in the sky. Roll legs back to the left. Bent legs rest. Left arm rests out to the side of the body. Now right arm reaches up the mat, up the floor. A new arm position for the right arm. Let it rest though above your head. All right, I'm going to bring right arm back down to my right side and shift twist, legs, body to the right. Bent legs rest on the ground. Right arm rests. Left arm reaches up overhead along the ground and rests in that position. Let the back of your shoulder blades sleep on the ground as you breathe deeply. Right, left arm comes to lie on the of your body again, and we draw our legs back to center. Give your knees a hug. And as you hug knees to chest, feel free to maneuver around softly, slowly. And those maneuvers feel good. They're soothing to the low back, to the mid back, to the upper back and shoulders. All right, let's guide our body back to center. Feet float back to the ground. Extend your legs and rest your body evenly again. Lie here. Our final relaxation position, Shavasana. Mentally scan your body and remember any new space that you expanded into in your practice tonight. May you continue to keep vivid breath moving into those spaces. And slowly starting to wiggle your fingers and toes. Shifting softly through your head side to side, feeling the freedom through your neck and shoulders. Give a little shift through your rib cage and middle. Hopefully that space feels far less sticky in the moment. And then start to generate the movements that bring you back to the surface again, to seated. Thank you for joining in our practice this evening. Appreciate your presence. Namaste, y'all. Sweet dreams.